Yo, so the main event, our headline fight, right? This one we had Park Hyun-sung, right, who stepped in on short notice, because originally this was meant to be Amir Albazi. Yes, Amir Albazi was meant to be challenging Tatsuro Taira, right? Which was definitely, that's a high level fight. He drops out, and I think on like 2 weeks, maybe slightly under, Park steps in. Now, Park had been on a tear, right? Park had been doing very well, won the first season of Road to the UFC, and man, impressive. Very, very impressive. But it's short notice. It's short notice. And Tatsuro Taira may have lost his UFC. Wasn't his debut, but may have lost his fight against Brandon Royval. But, he is still high level. He's still ridiculously talented. And the Royval fight was a split, right? It was close as you can get. So this was an interesting fight, right? Super interesting. And I think what we saw was someone that had kind of walked through the oh my days. Apologies, people. Sorry. Right, yeah, someone that kind of walked through the opposition, and I'm talking of Park. Now, it wasn't all first round shutouts or anything like that. I mean, on Road to the UFC it was, but in the UFC, he went to the second, he went to the third, right? But very comfortable, very comfortable, not the opposition. So facing Taira, that's different, right? That's different. And you could tell they were both very cautious of the other's power. Starting off, it was like, sizing it up, looking for those openings, and then pow, right? Taira hit a really good right hand, really good right, and from that you kind of go, oh, he's got his range, because literally a second later he unfurls another right. This one puts Park down, right? Puts him down, and Taira is on him like a rash. He's just controlled it on the ground, took the back with ease, and then we just see really good control. Right now, he's looking for the rear naked. Park does a good job of, just making it so Taira can't lock it in properly. He survives, but every time, like, Park is moving, trying to get him off. They stand up. Taira pulls it to the ground, but Park, he's moving. But every time he might move, but Taira just keeps a lock, right? He, transitions from the back to the front to back. So he's always in control, always in control. We go to the second round, and I think it's one of those things, right? You lost the first round, so you want to get it back, right? You're like, oh, I'm down, so I've got to show that, you can't fuck with me, right? So we see Park come forward, but in coming forward, you can leave those openings. especially if you're kind of just looking to make an impact, right? Which Park was looking to land a big shot. And Taira, perfectly timed takedown. Perfectly timed takedown, right? And again, straight on the back. Straight. So he's, on the back and he's looking. And you think at first, okay, he's trying to do it. He's making him feel uncomfortable. Then we get a tap, right? Because it wasn't under the chin. It was a face crank. But as we've seen, a face crank can be super uncomfortable, right? It can even take your teeth out. You know what I mean? Ask the Reaper, Robert Whittaker. So, yeah. He, Park has to tap, but you just never know, right? What looks innocuous to you, you don't know what that squeeze is like, right? You don't know. And it's only sometimes that you see multiple people tap to face cranks off of one person that you go, oh, that must be super hell, right? That must be super hell. And that's what happened. Because I think when Conor tapped to Khabib, right, people were thinking, all right, but then, Poirier tapped to Khabib. And it's just like, you realize it's, it's the squeeze, man. It's the squeeze. And it looks like Taira has got that squeeze. So he's back in the winning column. Back in the winning column. And looking sharp. I mean, he did what he was meant to do, right? Taking someone on that shorter notice, you should win. But it's just, we know crazy things can happen, right? So sometimes you roll the dice. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the underdog. But, hey, didn't happen. Taira got the win. And he looked good. So, hey, we'll see what is next for Tatsuro Taira. But a fun way to end. Pretty fun card, people. You know what I mean?